Hi, Art Seekers. We are in Boise with Sector 17. Super excited to get to talk to you guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
So, you are an artist collective. You formed in 2005, right?
Somewhere around there. Our buddy who passed away wrote Blank One, and him and I started painting together, and that's kind of where Sector was formed, like as kind of like a legal platform to do commissioned walls and that kind of stuff.
And you started, it was kind of a mixture of graffiti and the skate community and hip hop. What is the aesthetic of that when all three of those things collide?
I don't know. Style. Like, I think it's just a good mesh of style. Like skateboarding, like that's what I grew up doing, and like it just seemed like hip hop music and skateboarding went together like so well. Old 411 videos had like always good underground hip hop music, and so that those two became one. And then graffiti, as I did more research, my brother-in-law like filled me in on stuff as a kid. That just all kind of exposed me to like the elements of hip hop. And he didn't really teach me how to do graffiti, but he would catch tags and just had really dope hand styles, so that like made sense, and I wanted to be just like him when I was a kid. So that's kind of what like I guess submerged me into the culture. And then painting just came like as I got more into my teenage years, like I don't know, rebellious and just wanting to do whatever you want to do, kind of.
And it was cool because coming from Boise is a pretty small town still. I mean, it's still not a giant place, but having like that outlet into like skateboard culture and hip hop and even some graffiti that was like a small window out into like what was going on and cool stuff that, especially as a kid, you're like, damn, these guys are doing shit that I want to do. Like, I don't really see anybody in my like actual town doing it, so it seemed like this kind of like mythical culture that was out there somewhere. We weren't trying to like pioneer anything. We just wanted to see more of this stuff, and that was, in a way, it opened up some doors, and the people were coming into the same realization as we were at the same time. So I think it was just the beginning of like a small groundswell that we were a part of.
And your practice has really evolved over the years, which I think is so impressive. And you do these incredible murals now and a lot of stuff that's sanctioned and some work on canvas. How did that evolution occur?
For me, it was portrait painting, which like is what changed it, just from being straight letters and painting my name to trying, your hand at realism or trying to paint a face. And that's like really where things changed like drastically, because once you start to like work on that style, I don't know, the commissions seem to like pop up more. That's kind of what changed it for me. And I've been able to like do it full time as a job because of that, I think. I mean, we had commission projects like before the whole portrait game started, but it was more just like, oh, businesses were like, hey, paint some graffiti on the back wall, like make it look cool. But now it's different. People want more of that realistic looking shit, and I think that's cool. But in a perfect world, I get to paint my name and mix both of them.
There's a million people out there doing realism. There's even a bunch of people that do it with spray paint, but if you come from a graffiti background, I think that your style will probably translate somehow into your realism or your portraitures.
You've done a ton of murals around the city. Is there one that is particularly significant to you?
The big ones, like the skate park project for Rhodes Park, and then the city center plaza, like those two projects stand out to me because they were the biggest ones we've tackled, and we learned a lot of shit doing those projects.
For sure.
Both of them were like on like they're open construction sites, and so like I have a background in construction, so I was a little savvy to some areas, like the do's and don'ts of like being on a job site. But it's so weird, like when you're like in a position, you're like a creative person on this job site. None of these dudes can relate to it. Like we showed up to one of the murals and we just started like buffing out the background and doing our thing, and all these construction workers, it was like right in front of the elevator shaft. So all these dudes are going up and down this building, and they're like, "You guys the painters?" We're like, "Yeah, we're painters." "What are you doing?" Like they're like calling us out on our buff job, and it's like it's part of an art project. They're like, "What? Like art? Like mural? What is this on?" Like they were confused. So
It was pretty fun.
Stuff like that, I don't know. Those two big projects like just stand out to me because of scale. Like they were huge, and we got ourselves like we were uncomfortable in some positions. And like if you aren't pushing yourself, you know, if you're comfortable all the time, then you know you kind of set perimeters to like your creativity. But those projects pushing us out of those boundaries was, I don't know. I like projects like that.
And then the road skate park one too is cool just because like that's where we met, you know, the skateboarding and kind of brought all this stuff together. So to have it come back around and be able to like actually paint there and be a part of like this huge renovation of the skate park, it felt right. So that was cool.
Is that what you hope your legacy will be in the city? Just the power of tenacity and of artistic evolution?
I think it's a cool example too, though. I mean, just to be a living tribute to doing what you love to do. I mean, and if I can impart that to my daughter, whatever it is that she decides that she's into, it. I mean, it'd be like, listen, it is possible. It's not just like this fairy tale shit. Like, oh, you can do whatever you want to do, be whoever you want to be. Like, you have to really work at it, and I'll show you like the steps to do that and the work ethic. But it's a cool example to be able to provide, I think, to the kids.